This is Yominokuni, a visual novel made for the Otome Game Jam 2023. A demo, I should say. Released by creative lead elduator. I hope I pronounced that name right, but we on this channel we know her originally as Annalena. Did a ton of UI design for other visual novels and released her first project, her own work, which we played in this year's 0282 VN Game Jam, the queer edition, called Fated Night. At the time, I was really excited to see more, because that was shaping up to be an interesting story. And then this gets dropped in this year's Otome Jam. This is with elduator as the creative lead, and also a very extensive team behind it, so this has a ton of promise right off the bat. This is an otome, which is going to eventually have 6 love interests in all. We'll probably get warned initially, but this is very much an 18+ story, and we'll cover a lot of dark topics involving self-harm, suicide, violence, mental illness, abuse in many forms. Will contain some sexual content to some degree. Judging by the name Yominokuni, the world of the dead, so to speak. And the sense of this story, we've found ourselves in this world between life and death. But we're not dead. So, our journey is to unravel the mysteries of this strange realm, accompanied by our companions in a similar predicament, and find our way back to reality, to our life, if it is even possible at this point. So the demo contains pretty much... The itch.io page says the demo contains prologue and chapter 0, which if we look at chapters... it's likely a decent amount of common route content. So on that note, let us begin, shall we? Oh! Kaede! Kaede Izumi? Okay, for demo purposes, we'll play with the canon name. Ooh. Well, that's interesting. Is this like, oops, I did not mean to click. Nope. I'm just exploring the interface for starters, because this is quite slick. Main story. Escape opens the game menu. Closes the game menu. Okay, so that immediately opens save. Turn to main menu. Settings. Backlog. Ooh. Glossary. Skip. Back. Forward. Is one of these saved? Oh, that's auto. And that's rewind, I bet. Okay, on that note, enough scuffing around, let's actually play. My wrists were burning, fingernails digging deep into my flesh. I tried to scream. A giant hand grabbed my face, covering most of it and making it hard to breathe. To free myself, to run away as far as my legs could carry me, that's all I wanted. But I couldn't. No matter how many demands I cried out to my body, it did not obey me. Be a good girl and shut up. Oh no. Enveloped in jet black darkness, I could not pinpoint the origin of the voice. However, there was the all-too-familiar stench of tobacco and vodka that burned my nostrils. Okay, we're getting immediately into the, concerning content. Boss, why the hell's the drug working on this brat? Oh no. Oh dear. How the fuck would I know? Just keep her quiet until the van gets here. She's gonna make us a fortune. We are, child trafficking. Oh dear, how many men were there? Were there only 2? Or were there more? There's no way of knowing for sure, but one thing was clear. My fate was sealed. Is this how I'm going to die? No, it can't be. I don't want to die. I'm scared. Although somebody had finally heard my pleas, the forceful hands around my mouth and wrists dropped. Men's noises became quieter and quieter and seemed to fade into one another, till a new, warm voice slowly fought its way through. Although I had trouble understanding it, the feeling that spread throughout my chest was all too familiar. Shelter. And this familiar-sounding stranger called my name, called for me. Kaede. Kaede. Hey, Kaede, wake up. Oh? As though someone had grabbed me by my hair, my upper body jolted upward, my eyes wide open. Oh? In class? Disoriented, I tried to snap back to reality. The lecture hall, which only a few minutes ago was packed with fellow students, was now deserted. My tired eyes met an anxious pair, so familiar to me. Haru's. My childhood friend was sitting to my right, his hand gently resting on my shoulder. Ah, right. We had a lecture on Japan's economic influence in the West. Ooh. Ah. Arakasano. Your best friend from early childhood days. The two of you were in the same class from pre to high school and practically inseparable. I fell asleep again, didn't I? The nod, a faint smile formed on his lips as he slowly withdrew his hand. Shit, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to keep you here. Don't you have to pick up your sister? Oh, yeah, right. I forgot. What do you mean I forgot? How would you forget your sister? I watched as he began clumsily stuffing his laptop and notes into his bag. Do you want me to drive you home? Drive me home? Haru, your sister's ballet class is all the way on the other side of town. It's a huge detour. But I promised you earlier I'd cook for you tonight. Miss Brad, I swear. You still cook for me, just tell me what you've gotten your sister home. Exaggerated pout dropped and opened his mouth ready to argue, but I stopped him before he could interject. I'm a big girl, I can get home by myself. Your sister, on the other hand, gave him a gentle push. Boom. Now go. We'll see each other later. You're acting like some Shakespearean lover boy. Yeah, Juliet, oh beloved Juliet. Mine heart is breaking with every second we are apart. How would this poor knave possibly desire to live under these precognitions? It's over, Romeo. I have the high ground. This Oscar-worthy performance, he waltzed down the auditorium and towards the exit. Oh, I like him already. Yes, heartbreak, heartbreak, heartbreak. Not sure whether to laugh or cry at that amateur display, but I'm kind of dying inside right now. It's beautiful. It's the sort of cringe you can only be with friends you're truly comfortable with. The sort of friendship where you can be cringe, but you can be free. Once he had disappeared past the exit, a heavy sigh escaped my lips. I was well aware that he did, and still does a lot for me. It's just... his constant mothering sure felt overwhelming at times, even compared to the nightmares that plagued me from time to time. Anyways... cracking joints, I leisurely packed up my papers and got up. I should get going as well. It's been years since I've had a dream like that. Thought therapy had helped, but... oh, that's a memory. Oh dear. I shivered a bit as I thought back to that night. I don't know what would have happened to me if... No, let's not go there. I shake the thoughts in my head as I let another deep sigh escape my lips, tucking an annoying strand of hair behind my ear. The day was crowded, and everyone bumping into my shoulders was not helping my anxiety or frustration. Not that it's their fault, I'm the one hung up on all this stupid nonsense. I should really just get over this already. It was a stupid nightmare. I'm acting like a child if I let it affect my mood this much. I pulled out my phone to check the time and see if Haru had messaged me about our plans tonight. I mean, you have every right to... feel that way. It's a traumatic memory in the form of a nightmare. Understandable. Oh, Haru? Doge. Nothing. Cute phone. Put my phone away, heaving another sigh. It felt like that was all I could do today. As I looked up to keep walking, I felt someone practically barrel into me and knock me to the ground. Boom. Oh, what the hell? I rubbed my now sore butt as I grumbled to myself, but then a hand reached out in front of me. Oh? Oh, I'm so sorry. I let my eyes wander from the hand and took in the appearance of this hurried man. Eventually I made eye contact with whom the hand belonged to. He was a well-dressed man with a pretty face, and he did actually look a bit remorseful. Oh, how unfair. You can't stay mad at a face like that. I reached out to take his hand, his larger one enveloping mine as he gently helped me to my feet. Oh, you're right, miss. You weren't hurt, were you? The striped slacks. Popped collar. You are well off. And you look kind of pompous, but you are cute. After dusting myself off and giving myself a quick once-over, I shrugged. What is that chain on your slacks? What is that chain? I'm just noticing that. My dude. I shrugged cordially. Doesn't look like it. I wonder what's so important that they have to trample over people on the street. He gave me an apologetic smile and checked his watch before reaching into his back pocket and producing a professional-looking business card. Oh, yep. Here, take my card. Just in case anything gives you any issues. I reached out to take his card, our hands brushing slightly, and looked it over. Ray Amano. Yep, you are fucking rich. Finance Manager, Varsity Finance. A-Ray at vfinance.ynk. 123 Anywhere Street, Izumoshi, Shimaneken, 6990701. Ray Amano. I feel like I've heard that name somewhere. His voice quickly pulled me out of my thoughts. Let's check. Young financial manager seems to have his life under control and a well-kept persona. His cordial behavior when he bumped into you seems to have made a lasting impression. Business card. If you have any subsequent issues, fair enough. I would love to chat more and make sure you're fine, miss, but unfortunately I have to be on my way. My alarm didn't go off earlier, and I can't really miss this appointment. He gave a quick, deep bow before turning to continue on his way, smiling and waving goodbye as he called out to me one last time. Reach out if you have any issues at all. I looked back down at the card as I began walking again, this time a little more careful. Ray Amano, financial manager. Huh. No wonder he was dressed so well. I couldn't imagine any finance managers who aren't older than time itself. I decided to put the number into my phone, just in case. Alright, fair enough. My luck lately, I'd throw it away by accident and actually need it at some point or another. Beautiful assortment of colors caught my eye. Curious, I looked up to see the countless flowers placed in careful arrangements. Guess I still have some time. Took a deep breath to take in all the floral scents as I opened the door to the shop. Alright, let's explore. Whoa. Well, this place is cool. This background feels like a filter over a real shop. And I really like it. I would go here. At the end of the shop, I paused to admire the plants around me. The aroma of the tulips, roses, and orchids hit me at every angle. This is dang cool. It smells so good in here. My eyes take in the iridescence before landing on the 3 people standing at the counter who seemed to be in deep conversation. Oh. Did I do well last night? The man grinned proudly at the 2 women, putting his hands on his hips. Of course you did. I'm amazed that you were able to keep it up for that long. Oh no. The innuendo. Yeah, you really showed us what you're made of. The innuendo. The darker-haired woman pushed back to the counter and let out a yawn before her eyes landed on me. Hey, Mira, you have a customer. Oh, I'm so sorry for intruding. The sign said it was open? Was I interrupting something? Oh god, this is awkward. What did I stumble into? Should I leave? Quick! There's something else to look at. My gaze fixated on a rose petal that had fallen from a pre-made bouquet. No, you're good. Welcome to Hanako. Do all of you work here? Nope, this is a family-run shop. Hey, my mother and I work here. Ah, I see. So, are you looking for something in particular? The colors caught my eye and I wanted to see what was inside. Everything looked so beautiful and the arrangements seemed really professional. The man let out a deep laugh accompanied by a tiny chuckle from the smaller woman. I did a great job, right? Just as I was about to open my mouth to respond to his comment, I was interrupted by the woman in the blue blazer. The heavy groan that escaped her lips echoed throughout the store, her eyes lingering on her wristwatch. What's the matter, Mimi? My break is over. I have to go back to the station. Come on, Emmy. I'll drop you off at home. So, you two are related? Emmy's friends with the family shop owner. Both of them hastily scurried past me to leave the narrow store, brimming with flowers. The tall woman led the way, while her friend happily followed, throwing a nod my direction. Bye-bye, Ryuji. See you tonight. The cheerful one of the two waved goodbye to the flower vendor before they just disappeared with a ring at the doorbell. Now that I was alone with him, I could feel an uncomfortable silence overshadowing the pleasant scent of the flowers. Once again, I let my gaze wander through the numerous flowers on display before me. My eyes stopped at something white. Something fluffy. Was it? Oh, yes, a cat? Look at that cat. Look at that cat. Fluffy boy. Before I realized it, I had already made a few steps toward the white puffball. Its eyes closed, and it made itself comfortable between two flower pots. Oh, don't mind him, miss. He's just a very cute freeloader. He's cute as a button. May I pet him? Before the man had a chance to answer, I felt the cat's paw gently touching the back of my hand. Yes, my child, you may pet me. Its eyes were now open, looking up at me with a gleam. With the soothing vibration of its touch, I could sense a quiet purr. You have been granted permission, my child. Oh, that's weird. Sorry? Oh, nothing. You can pet him. He hates you, doesn't he? Let my hand glide over the cat's smooth fur. Without realizing it, I began to lose myself in deep thought, as if I was being pulled into some kind of trance. This is kind of therapeutic. Actually, I can't remember how much time had passed. It felt like an eternity. Until the salesman snapped me out of my thoughts by clearing his throat rather loudly. Ahem. So, miss, how may I help you? Are you planning on buying some flowers, or, are you volunteering to take this freeloader off my hands? All right, flowers! I found myself feeling a bit bored as I scanned my room from corner to corner. The ticking clock on the wall seemed to have made it its mission to annoy me. I was hoping Haru would hurry up, so I was looking for any reason to ignore my dream for today. And sitting alone in my room wasn't really helping in that regard. Where is he? I checked my phone once more for a message, and my eyes lit up when I noticed Haru finally responded. Sorry, something came up. Won't be able to come over. Oh. Flower Shop Hanako. A small family-run flower shop located on the way home from university. The various flowers on display have mesmerized you. Mom said she'd make extras if you're hungry. Okay. And he stood me up. Great. I sighed, rolling my eyes as I tossed the phone on the blankets next to me. His mom is great, but it's weird to go to someone's house without them. Plus, I'm not gonna barge in and have her feed me. They've been taking care of me since we were kids. Can't keep relying on them forever. Began to crawl out of bed, careful not to knock over my new bouquet that I'd left on the end table. I smiled a bit as I looked at all the carefully arranged flowers, all in my favorite colors. Right on cue, I felt my stomach growl, reminding me of my current predicament, and I continued my shovel to the fridge, in hopes that I'd find something easy to make. I flipped on the kitchen lights before opening the fridge and looking through what I could make. Yes, peanut butter and ramen. You have to be kidding me. Then a little grumbles, I rummaged through everything, but found nothing except a variety of condiments of actual nutritional value. Think that convenience store down the street is open 24/7? I bite my lips. I consider my options, feeling a sense of unease pool in my stomach. Would it really be the best idea to go out late at night, though? Normally I'm fine, but... Clench my eyes shut and quickly shake my thoughts away, feeling the images from today's dream resurface in my mind. No, it's fine. I'm fine. The streetlights are still on, and I would have my phone. I swallowed a lump that was beginning to form in my throat. I tried to convince myself that the likelihood of those people ever finding me again is little to none. I still found myself hesitating. You can do this. It was years ago. You're safe now. It's just a little stroll to get some food. Stop freaking yourself out, Kaede. I gave myself a small nod of encouragement as I decided to head out. Quickly, though, so I wouldn't feel my anxiety skyrocket when the streetlights began to dim. My stomach growled louder, so I went back to my room to grab my phone and bag. I then slid on my shoes before heading to the convenience store at a brisk pace. Hopefully they have some sandwiches on sale or something. I'm gonna say my first reaction was, hello, just DoorDash or Uber Eats or something, but then again, doing that on a college budget is not always economical. Oh gosh. There it is. Hello, Lawson. As soon as I mustered the courage to go out, I hurried as fast as possible to the convenience store. Practically ran through the entrance, slightly out of breath. As the store clerk greeted me, I let out a sigh of relief. First part of the errand. Check. Was safe and sound. Ordered through the aisles, carefully making my choice, guided by my growling stomach. I'm so hungry. Oh, why'd you stand me up so late, Haru? You could have at least texted me earlier. Finally decided on a sandwich and a canned sugary drink. Also picked up some cup noodles for future Haruka letdowns. There's a discount on my favorite brand. Heck yeah. Paid for my food, in no rush to leave my brief moment of respite to go back to the dark, unsettling streets that stretched between me and my apartment. I exited the shop, back on high alert, picking up a brisk pace to make it home quickly. However, as I came close to a dark alley, I heard rustling from a nearby trash can. Not wanting to get in trouble, I initially tried to rush by. Cat? A cat? My head reflexively turned in the direction of the meow, only to be greeted by a familiar white fluff ball, let out an audible gasp, perhaps from the nervousness. It's that cat I saw at the flower shop earlier. What's it doing out here at this hour? So far from home, too. When the gasp made my presence heard, the cat perked up and gently cooed in my direction. It walked up to me and rubbed itself on my legs. It stopped moving completely. Honestly, it was just too adorable of a moment to ruin. Anxious thoughts dissipated as I bent down to pet my new purring friend. Why are you so far from home, little buddy? Aren't you supposed to be curled up in bed with your owner at this hour? Should I bring you home? Called the awkward conversation I had unintentionally eavesdropped on at the flower shop earlier. You know what? Best not to go there at this hour. Who knows what sort of promiscuous activities the owner could be up to? Oh dear. Even though it's probably just making flower arrangements. But hey, you know how long he can keep it up. Yeah, good on his cat to get as far away as possible when that happens. Cat almost seems to understand my question as it let out a tiny, squeaky meow in my direction. It then started walking further into the alley. Oh dear. Yet before disappearing in the darkness, it turned around as if prompting me to follow. I don't know what took over me at that time, but I felt somehow compelled to follow that cat. And so I did. Following closely behind that cat, I let the darkness of the alley engulf me, completely forgetting about my anxiety of going out alone at night. This can not possibly be a good idea. This cat is leading us into hell. That's prologue done. Welcome to Chapter 0. My short-lived journey through the darkness of this narrow, unsanitary alley brought me back to my senses. What am I even doing? I have to get out of here. Turned around and started running in the opposite direction. Hey, what the hell do you think you're doing? My gosh, what was that? Panic took over me and I let out the highest-pitched scream my voice could muster, picking up the pace as a surge of adrenaline coursed through me. For fuck's sake, these human women always screaming at the top of their lungs whenever they're slightly frightened. Amidst my incoherent screaming, I barely took notice that the cat had somehow ended up right in front of me again. Oh, here we go. I tripped over him and fell on the concrete with my whole body. Adrenaline didn't prevent me from scraping my face, both my elbows and my knees in the process. Don't have there in the morning, even if I even make it out of this alive. Continued my cries for help as I tried to get up. Jeez, will you pipe the fuck down already? I swear, you're the worst one yet. The cat prevented me from getting up by sitting on my chest. He felt so heavy I could barely move. Yet somehow I could feel my heart rate decrease. Hey, wait, why is the flower shop cat talking? This can't be real. Must have hit my head or something. I remained frozen in place, my breath short, and barely uttering a sound. Okay, now that you've stopped screaming, let's have a coherent conversation, alright? I nodded, still in a daze. See the cat relax and get comfortable on my chest. His forehead started glowing with a strange red symbol. He suddenly seemed otherworldly. My name is Ji-Yu, and I'm the guardian of a place called the Yominokuni. In fact, we're here right now. Have a look around. I obliged and took in my surroundings. Update in Haruka's. Glossary entry. Ever since that incident, Haruka's parents have been taking care of you, as if you were their own child, yet a sense of guilt rather than gratitude has nested itself deep inside of your heart. A cute cat? Overseer of the Yominokuni. Ji was an otherworldly being, the overseer of the Yominokuni. You still don't seem to understand his true nature and reason for being in the Yominokuni. He's shrouded in mystery. Okay. At first I didn't notice anything different, just the streets near my apartment. But then I noticed that it was eerily silent. Not a single straggling pedestrian nor the engine of the occasional car could be heard, just the silence. I looked up to the sky to see a blood-red moon. Where are we? I just told you. Sassy much? I always knew cats were assholes at heart. Yeah, the Yomino whatever, but what is this place even supposed to be? Now that's a relevant question. The Yominokuni is the place between life and death. What? I died? Not at the moment. Can I continue my explanations? Sure. Ji-Yu hopped off me and waited for me to stand. He motioned for me to follow him, led me back into the alley and crossed it. Time stands still here. It's a world parallel to your own, where spirits in unrest lie, waiting to either be saved or to meet their end. My senses were on high alert as he explained. I noticed Ji-Yu was limping as he walked. Yominokuni? Realm between life and death. Blood-red moon as its zenith. And spirits, our spirit symbol. Be wary of spirits. Wait, Ji-Yu, are you hurt? A human about 8 times my size just tripped over me. Yes, I am hurt. Oh no, I'm so sorry! Not a mere cat, as you seem to think. I'll be fine. Still. Now will you please stop interrupting me and start moving? This place isn't exactly safe and you've managed to injure me. Okay, sorry. Wait, we're in danger? Jeez, anyway. The spirits you'll encounter here have lost their way and cannot make it to the afterlife on their own. Reasons unknown, some of you, living humans, have been brought here to help them find their way back. So many questions rushed to mind. This was all still so confusing. And Ji-Yu's explanations brought up more questions than answers. Not only that, he deliberately ignored my attempts to clarify. Any questions? Yes, I've got several. Good, keep them to yourself and ask your comrades. I'm tired and I need to get you to them at one piece. Comrades? Oh, just follow me and stay close, alright? Never answered and stopped talking, leading me through the red-imbued streets. What a grumpy ball of fur Jiu is. Restless, I started looking around. Everything felt so still in an eerie kind of way. Nothing like the Uzmo I came to know. Suddenly, I spotted one thing moving out of the corner of my eye. What was that? I looked at Jiu. He seemed to have noticed it too. I peered closely at the thing. At first, it looked like something hazy, and I rubbed my eyes to make sure I wasn't imagining things. I opened my eyes with uncertainty and realized that the figure hadn't disappeared. What the? The figure looked to be a boy around 9 years old. He was crouched near a trash can, digging through it. Was he brought here when I came with Jiu? I approached the kid and grabbed his shoulder, but it went through him, and a piercing cold shot through my body. I backed up, rubbing my arms to get the cold out of me. What are you? The boy remained silent and continued digging through the trash. My name is Kaede. What's your name? He continued to ignore me and moved on to the next trash can. He's looking for something. Gee, what's going on? My hand went through this boy. How could this be? Did you already forget me telling you this world is where spirits and unrest lie? Good. God, you have the memory of a goldfish. I glanced again at the kid who was now resting in a fetal position against a wall. He looked clearly upset about something. I might as well try seeing if he'll talk to me. I approached the kid again and crouched beside him. Hey there. You don't have to say anything, but I want to know if you're okay. Nod your head of yes, and shake your head of no. The kid gazed at me and I felt another wave of coldness creep up my body. I stayed silent because I was scared to say anything further. Before it felt like an eternity later, the spirit shook his head. So you're not okay? Are you lost? Are you looking for something? The spirit replied to me, but I had to bring my ear closer. He was so quiet, it was hard for me to make out the words at first. My toy. Your toy? It was a gift. A friend. My friend. Kento. Help me find it. What does it look like? It's a red car. Damn it, don't help the spirit. It'll find its toy eventually. We have to get you to your comrades. I'm too injured to keep you safe if anything happens. Who are these comrades you keep speaking of? We'll get there. We have to help the spirit. G rolled his eyes and sat down. He lifted one of his paws and licked it. Fine. You have 2 minutes or else I'm going without you. He smirked at the cat and proceeded to look around for the toy. I pulled out my phone and made use of its flashlight. Woo! Time limit. Multiple investigation scenarios. You can interact with objects using a mouse. Some scenarios have a time limit. Find the objective before your bar is completely empty. Alright, we have time. An empty board was displayed in front of one of the stores. I assumed that waiters regularly listed the daily menu on it. Sitting on the floor, I tried to see if the toy might be underneath it. There was nothing except the white painted panels. I tried to pick up one of the cones, hoping that the car would be underneath it. All of them seemed as if they had been fused to the ground. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't lift them even as a single inch. Time is frozen. Not far from me was a huge metallic box on the side of the road. I grabbed the handles and tried to lift the lid, but it did not move one bit. It seemed to be almost welded to the box. About a minute into searching every nook and cranny of one of the alleyways, a red glimmer inside one of the baskets caught my eye. Aha! Found it! Grabbed the red toy car and passed it over to the child. There you go. Thank you. Just as I handed him the toy, he disappeared in an instant. You're welcome. I said this to no one. Alright, woman, let's get a move on. Right, after you. proceeded to follow Jiu in the direction of my comrades. I took one last look behind me before noticing the red car was left exactly where the little boy had been. Huh. Why does this day keep getting weirder and weirder? Ah. Red toy car. Returned it to the boy in the end. Toy was remained in the same spot even though the ghost disappeared. Living beings aren't able to touch spirits. It was like putting your hand in a cloud on a freezing winter day. However that though, I want to see what happens if we run out of time. Regardless of where I looked, what rock I turned over, and what trash bag I peered into, there was no trace of the red toy car. You'd be kidding me. Did that thing fall off the face of the earth? Hey, Jiu. He spun around to the talking cat. It appears he made itself comfortable by the side of the road, but... Oh, he was right. He was gone. Jiu? He seriously left me behind! All of a sudden, a cold gust of wind blew through my hair, causing my whole body to shudder. Hey. Without giving me a chance to react, the little boy's spirit popped up just a few inches away from me, staring straight at me with his hollow eyes. Where is my toy? I opened my mouth, yet I did not know what to say. All-consuming fear overcame me and made me stumble back a bit. What am I supposed to do? I'm alone. I'm scared. So the spirit could sense my fear. His unfazed expression soured, and he closed the distance between us once more. Do you hate me? No, of course not. I wanted to take a step back a second time, but I lost my balance and fell backwards onto the ground. Ow. Die. Thing happened so quickly. The spirit, with superhuman strength, had climbed on top of me, and before I was able to react, had grabbed me by the neck. His nails dug deep in my flesh, and his clutch got tighter with each passing second, yet nothing surpassed that icy chill that was spreading from that spot all over my body. I wanted to fight back to push the boy away from me. However, with the last strength I could muster, my trembling hands fell through his body. Oh, please, stop. I can't give up. I have to keep fighting. I felt like an eternity ago, my body had gone numb, and my vision had started to become fuzzy. Only I had listened to his warning. Only I. That in 0.1. Alright. Why does this day keep getting weirder and weirder? Ah, there they are. Anyways, watched as he purred happily, still feeling a bit skeptical of the situation as I noticed the group we've begun approaching. Today's been so fucking weird. Seriously, I feel like I'm gonna wake up any time. Trusting a talking cat is a new low, even for me. The blobs of people in the distance started to become more clear as we approached, allowing me to get a good look at their faces. Huh? Aren't those... Hello? Aren't those the people from the flower shop? Heard a familiar voice and noticed the man in a burgundy shirt from this afternoon. I remember that shirt. That's the same guy who knocked me over. I could recognize it anywhere at this rate, as I practically face-planted into his chest earlier. Gio looked a bit smug as he puffed out his little cat chest as he walked. What do you think? I wouldn't give just anyone the privilege of feeding me my 3 square meals a day. Felt myself secretly giving a good-natured eye roll, taking in the figures of the people ahead of us. Yeah, that's definitely them. Getting to hear indistinct mumblings. They spoke amongst themselves. But then the cheery girl from the flower shop looked our way with a smile, waving wildly. Hey look, it's Jiu! And that girl! Ah, you're right. That explains Jiu being so friendly earlier. Wait, You guys met her too. Felt my cheeks tinged with redness as all eyes turned on me when we finally reached and joined the group. Together between everyone, I recognized most of the people and felt myself relax. Only slightly, though. Hello, everyone. Oh, we should all introduce ourselves. What do you think, Ray? That sounds like a good idea. I'm afraid she and I have already met on less pleasant circumstances. Mono gave me an apologetic smile as he politely nodded in recognition. It seemed like the girl regarded him as the leader of the group, if she's basically asking his permission. Good to see you again, Miss Rayamano. Good to see you again, Miss Rayamano, if you've forgotten. How could I forget? I mean, if we're doing introductions, don't forget about Hiro. He's being antisocial, as always. I smiled a bit as I saw her beam excitedly at his approval, before turning to a man with glasses lingering in the distance, waving him over. Hiro, come here! The man with glasses stalked over to us, looking at me reproachfully. I shifted a bit, uncomfortable under his gaze. Great, now we're all here. Other than him. Who's him? Also, why did this guy keep trying to size me up? Disgusting. Jeffrey girl grabs onto the taller, stoic-looking woman's arm with a smile. I'll go first. I'm Emi Inoue, but you can just call me Emi. But this is Mimi. The other woman, Mimi, shifted awkwardly on her feet. My name is Mayumi Fukumoto. Only Emi calls me that. Talking about typical sunshine and grumpy duo. The muscular man then smiled and stepped forward a bit, and I couldn't help but take in his large figure. I forced myself to look away as my eyes lingered a bit longer than they should have. Same girl? Same. It's like he dresses specifically to show off his muscles. Not that I mind. I'm Ryuji Miura. Nice to meet you. Amano clasped Miura on the shoulder with a grin, as if they were as close as can be. Yeah, best drinking buddy, this one. Oh. Miura laughed a bit and punched him gently on the shoulder. Once they quieted down, Amano gave the other of the three men a pointed look. He then patted him on the back, pushing him forward encouragingly. Come on then, Hiro. She won't bite, you know. Lay off, Ray. Are they brothers or something? Same hair. Well, same hair color. He shrugged off his hand roughly, grimacing a bit from the lack of formality. Hiro Sasaki. Man of little words, huh? Mano laughed a bit, his lack of social graces, and winked at me good-naturedly. Don't mind our little hero. He doesn't know how to talk to people. There it is. Hiro Sasaki, the youngest and most feisty one of the bunch, eager to get behind the origin of the Yominokuni. The rest of the group doesn't seem to work the standard he expects, which makes him more irritated. Quite the alluring man. Works alongside his mother in the flower shop Hanako. You can often see him smoking a cigarette, although this doesn't really seem to bother you. Mayumi, a seemingly distant woman, doesn't appear to open up emotionally to others. Only one whom she has a close relationship with is Emi, and possibly Ryuji. Which, fair. Bet. Young and energetic woman, she seems to be taking in the spotlight within the group due to her extroverted nature. Very good. Especially women. Raised my eyebrow at the comments, noticing how close those two seemed to be. Hiro, on the other hand, looked like he was holding back a temper. Even the tips of his ears are turning red. For the record, I happen to be the only one here wanting to improve our current situation, not just to sit around and pretend nothing's wrong. All of you want to fool around and keep getting dragged here at night to find more drinking buddies, that's your prerogative. At least some of us are trying. Sasaki then turned to me, his voice still a bit harsh. If you want to actually solve things, we might get along. If you want to spend your days frivolously without care, then you might fit in better with these two. Yikes, he sounds stressed. Oh, there he goes. Saki rolled his eyes and shoved past Amano, bumping their shoulders as he stomped back to his spot, a bit further away from the group. Amano sighed and looked to Inoue with a dispirited smile. Hero. I'll go talk to him. Sorry, miss. Hero is a bit touchy sometimes. Don't mind him. Got it. Give a polite thin-lipped smile, feeling a bit nervous about the current state of high tension. Oh, I've been talking this whole time. Sorry, what about you? Oh, me? I'm Kaida Izumi. Nice to meet you all. I looked over all of them, going down the line to make sure I got their names right. Made sure to go by their last names to be polite. Yep, you got it. But you can call me Emmy, you know? It feels so weird being called by my last name. If you don't mind my asking, are Amano and Sasaki related or something? Miura let out a belly laugh, as if it was an outlandish, ridiculous question. He began to try and answer me between his laughs. Them? No, he's just like that. He tries to help Hiro get along and make some friends. Guess that's just how they are. Yeah, Hiro's not that bad. Ray's sort of in charge if you wanted to assign titles. You mean he is in charge? Yeah, Ray is super nice and tries to take care of everyone, but Hiro is... They're like cats and dogs. I giggles a bit at Fukumoto's comment, but then a twig snaps loudly behind us, making us all turn our attention to that direction. Miura smirks at the approaching figure. Oh, look who finally decided to show up. Intrigued, I turned to the direction Miura seemed to be pointing. To my surprise, I saw a very familiar figure approaching us. No way. Though his blonde hair shone reddish in the distorted moonlight, his trademark smile had vanished from his lips. I would recognize him at any time. How could I possibly not? Haru? Oh, you know him too. Oh, you know him too. This feels like they've sort of assembled... GU has sort of assembled this group of people to combat spirits in the Yominokuni on a nightly basis. And now we've been roped into it too. Taking the role of the leader, ensures the unity of the group. Promotes group unity. Alright, good on. These coincidences are starting to creep me out. This has to be some twisted joke. His glance, fixated on the screen in his cell phone, slid up and locked with mine. As though he had run into an imaginary wall, he came to a sudden halt. His mouth opened slightly and started to form something unintelligible to me. He's shocked. Anyways, I'll fetch the other two. Hey, Hiro. Haruka's here. It's only a few seconds in which I had diverted my eyes from Haru to Miura, and yet my childhood friend managed to close the distance in that short time. Abruptly, a shadow had settled over me as I felt my childhood friend's hand firmly clutching my wrist. Without me being able to react, he started to drag me forcefully away from the group. Hey, Haru, stop! Let go! His grasp only loosened when we had gotten a few meters distance from the rest. What in God's name are you doing here? I could ask you the same thing. Followed this cork and cream and sounded like a cat. It sounds like I'm high saying it out loud. Suddenly the moon turned red and I was here. The disgruntled Sahi buried his face in his hands before grabbing me by the shoulders. His eyes transfixed mine while his face came abnormally close to me, so that I found myself unable to avoid him. A cold shiver rolled down my spine and I could feel an unpleasant twitch in my fingertips. This would explain why he had to, stand us up. See, he had a place to be. I wanted to oppose him, but he snatched the words right out of my mouth. Why aren't you with Mom like I asked you to? Why? expression so strange spread across his face, an expression of defeat, an expression of sorrow. Sorry, I'd rather be at home right now, too. What is the meaning of all this? Without giving me any form of explanation, he averted his eyes and enclosed his hand in mine, this time more gently than before. Come. Haru guided me back to the group which had been waiting for us. Hesitantly, I followed his lead. My step felt heavy. It was as if my body was gradually melting into the ground. Even as we arrived back at the others, he didn't let go of my hand. No, his grip got tighter. My mind juggled so many emotions while Haru and I made our way back to the group. I must have been lost in thought because when he shook my shoulder, bringing me back to reality. Because he shook my shoulder, bringing me back to reality. Hey, Kaede, did you hear what I said? Sorry, Haru, I'm still having a hard time adjusting to all this. Can you tell me what you said again? Haru smiled sadly, shaking his head. Don't worry about it. It wasn't important. I was so distracted by his presence that I completely forgot about the other members. Light blush colored my face as I cleared my throat. So what are we gathered here for? We thought it was a good idea to meet up and revisit our goals. Since the group keeps getting bigger, it's better to keep everyone up to date. Can we get through this quickly? I have some stuff I need to do. I'm sure all of us don't want to be here, Sasaki. We have no choice after all. We'll be done in no time. We can have some yummy snacks after this. Let's get back on track. Did you tell Izumi what we do here? Yeah, I'm curious. What are your roles here in the Yominokuni? We want to know why we're here and how we can stop being brought here. Kind of annoying, honestly. You know when it will happen and what our objective is, but it doesn't become easier. When does it happen? It happens in the middle of the night, between 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Can't remember the last time I had a good night's sleep. What's our objective? Objective is to guide the spirits to the afterlife. Which means you have to engage with them and find out what's preventing them from passing on to the afterlife. If you are very stupid, you might destroy the soul, ruining any possibility for it to find salvation. We are all doing our best here. We assign ourselves roles to be better organized. What might my role be in all this? Care to elaborate? Well, I was the first one here after Haruka. He helped me adjust to the Yominokuni, and I kind of just became a leader-type figure once more people joined. Haru was the first? I nodded in agreement with Amano and brought my gaze over to Sasaki. What do you do, Sasaki? I use my brain to make sure everything goes well, compared to the rest of them. Which means I'm the one computer researching. I'm on the computer researching anything about this place. Have you found out anything? I will make it happen. I stared at Sasaki for a few moments before hearing Inoue tell Fukumoto to speak up. Come on, Mimi, tell her what you do. You've been so quiet. You don't really have much to tell, Emmy. You're so cool. I'm not. Did I see a tint of rose color on color Fukumoto's cheeks? While I stay calm and collected in stressful situations, it can help us get out of a bind. I keep everyone happy, right, Mimi? Fukumoto looked like she wanted to pat Inoue's head, but she clenched her fist and kept it at her side. You certainly do. I smiled at Inoue and Fukumoto. Fukumoto, cute. I'm very handy. I like to fix things and I can pack a punch, right, Ray? Miyano playfully punched him on his arm, which caused him to stumble. He regained his stance, coughing into his hands as if nothing happened. You're alright. Oh, they're too cute. Haru stood quietly at the side. He hadn't said much while I was having conversations with the others, but my arm in his, trying to comfort him. You okay? Haru looked down at his shoes. He was silent after that. All I could do was pat his arm, hoping that would help a bit. Are you all done yet? We have to get to the apartment. Been out in the open for too long. I almost forgot about Jiyu. He's been so quiet. Jiu stretched out his white paws. He'd been laying down close to the shrine, observing the conversation. Alright, the apartment. Let's go check it out, shall we? Apartment? We all watched as Amano pulled out his set of keys, all of them jingling against each other until he picked one of the dark gold ones. Then inserted it into the door, and with a click he pushed it open and invited us all in with a smile. My jaw dropped a bit as we stepped in and looked around at the nice decor. Well, here it is, our little humble abode. This is your place? Miura stood next to Amano, put a hand over his mouth in an effort to hide a small chuckle. The crinkles by his eyes gave it away. Why is he laughing? Is something funny? Not at all, don't worry. He's just loaded. Bonafide rich kid. Oh, hush. Otto gave a good-natured eyebrow to his friend before turning his attention to me. A warm smile played on his lips as he waved me over to follow him. Let me show you around. Not anything crazy great, but I hope you make yourself comfortable when you're here. Got it for all of us, after all. Placed a gentle hand on my shoulder, flashing me his blinding smile. We then went to look through the layout of the definitely not small apartment, and it was complete with a small office, single bedroom, and 2 bathrooms. This guy's sense of money is way off. You have a nice place here. Thanks. But again, it's yours now, too. Oh, also, I keep the fridge stocked with food and drinks at all times, so feel free to help yourself whenever you'd like. We then returned to the living room area, where we saw everyone already quite relaxed. Even Sasaki, despite keeping to himself earlier, was casually helping himself to a Womster energy drink and a bat of no-Ritos. Yes. No-Ritos air flavor. We just forgot the chips. Amano chuckled to himself as he noticed Sasaki digging in, and nodded his head towards the others to motion us to find a seat to join them. See? If even he can loosen up here, you can too. I nodded and smiled a bit, beginning to feel slightly more comfortable with the group as we took whatever seats were still available. Welcome back, guys. How'd you like the tour? It's a nice place. Did I do something to upset him? Gave Haru a lingering glance, thinking back to what I could have possibly done, but noticed he gave Amano a certain look, to which he responded with a nod. Ahem. Amano cleared his throat to get everyone's attention, and they quickly began to settle down and lower their voices. Perhaps we should tell our new friend a few things about this place. Anyone want to go first? Never be alone from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Spirits can be divisive and cunning, and being unused to them, you're an easy target. Not even us experienced people stand a chance alone. Everyone's voices mixed together as they clamored in agreement, except for Emi and Fukumoto, who seemed to be having a private conversation. After a moment, I could see her nod to Emi, and then she rose her voice to break the silence. Hey, let's calm down a bit. Emi wanted to add something. Assertive. All attention turned to Emi as the things quieted again, except for the not-so-distant rumbling of a chip bag, and the incessant crunching that followed, causing Fukumoto to give Sasaki a cold look. Do you have anything going on Saturdays? Saturdays? No, I don't think so. Why? Oh, good! We have meetings here on Saturdays to plan our weeks out and talk about information we've gathered about spirits. Hero has actually been a great help with keeping the information and other things organized, too. As if on cue, Sasaki had a proud expression on his face, like he had finally been recognized with deserved praise. Oh yeah, someone should bring her on Saturday so she doesn't get lost. Haru began to open his mouth, but Miura had begun a second quicker. I'll bring her. I'm not running errands that day anyway, so it's not a problem. Oh, poor Haru. Here, give me your phone. I'll put my information in for you. Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. I am still worried about Haru, though. He was very clear from his reaction up to this point. Is this something he's been actively trying to not get us involved in? So to speak? Which means somehow... we've been on GU's radar. In some shape or form. I obliged and passed him my phone without hesitation, watching as he nimbly tapped his information in. When he had passed me back my phone, I noticed he had already texted himself. Great. Seems like we got everything sort of settled for now. I jumped a bit when I heard the clock chime as the hour changed. Time's up. Ready to go, Emmy? Sounds good to me. Bye, guys. See you tomorrow. I watched them begin to gather their things and leave together. Turned my head to Amano as I heard him chuckle. Find out why the spirits are predated for entering the afterlife and help them overcome this obstacle. Do not destroy them. Sorry. Just looked confused. It was adorable. Hurry up. Yoda and I are already done grabbing our stuff. Yeah. Anyways. I tend to leave pretty quick. Most of us do, really. Since we still have our daytime responsibilities. Tell me about it. I didn't sleep more than 4 hours a day the past couple nights, and it is killing me. Oh yeah, it's almost time for things to go back to normal, according to what they all told me. Gotcha. They're leaving because it's almost 2 a.m. Yeah, leave in pairs so it's safer. So are we all... You're coming with me, silly. Hi guys, we'll be heading out. Waved goodbye to the three of them as Haru led me up by my wrist, laughing slightly. I heard Sasuke still arguing with Amano as we left. Oh, Haru? We need to talk. You know, if you want to hold my hand, you can just do that. The case would be a lot more comfortable than the way you've been tugging on my wrist until now. But when we had left the apartment, he still hadn't let go of me. To think of it, he has been acting very strange all day. He stopped in his tracks with his back turned to me. I would have liked to see the expression on his face, but he remained in that position for a while. Don't really understand it all yet either. This Yominokuni, spirits that need to be saved, why we're here. All this sounds more like a weird dream, like the premise of a TV show. But I would like to understand. His grip loosened as he slowly turned to face me. Pain in his eyes glistened in the red moonlight. My chest felt heavy. Haru. A painfully stiff smile contorted his face. Took a few steps back, burying his hands in the pockets of his jacket. I just wish you wouldn't have been dragged into this. Yominokuni is not just a scary place full of spirits that might not have your best intentions. You can die in here, Kaede. The unusual urgency of his voice caused a shiver to run through my body. His otherwise relaxed and warm nature had completely evaporated. Haru, I don't have to say anything. I need some time to think. He turned away from me and proceeded on his way. The walk home seemed like an excruciating eternity. Seeing him like this was worse than the situation we were actually in. I wanted him to talk to me, to tell me what exactly was happening. I wanted him to flash me his stupid grin like he normally did. We're here. Again he halted, which almost made me bump into him. You should go to sleep and get some rest now. Lock the door behind you and don't let anyone inside. You hear me? Reluctantly, I took the keychain out of my satchel and inserted it into the front door. Just as I was about to turn the key in the lock, a violent gust of wind hit me, causing me to shut my eyes. Seems about time. As soon as I opened my eyes again, the reddish moonlight that tinted everything in its grace had disappeared. We're back. Go inside. Must be tired. Tomorrow we'll have enough time to talk about everything. You are such a fucking liar, I can see it in your face. Instead of talking back to him, I obeyed. To be honest, I didn't even have the strength to rebel against it. In fact, I could feel the exhaustion in my weak knees. Good night. Night. Sweet dreams, Kaede. I woke up in my bed. Instantly, I felt a burning sensation in my palms and knees. Oh yeah, we scraped the shit out of ourselves. Right, yesterday night's oddity started by royally face-planting. Hurting myself and some kind of cat-like supernatural entity in the process. Wait, did I even disinfect? Nope, it just went straight to bed. I have to go wash my injuries as I recalled all of yesterday's events in the Yominokuni. I somehow found myself in this parallel dimension, where lost spirits gather in search of the afterlife. I even met a spirit, that of a young child. Somehow, along with a few other young adults like myself, I was to guide these spirits to rest, either by saving them or destroying them. This is somewhat inspired by the Spirit Hunter series, isn't it? Deathmark and NG. Although while we were also figuring out how we got into this mess in the first place. Absolutely nothing wrong with that, because that's an awesome series, and I would love to see more tales and spirits done in that with that inspiration. Love it. I was pretty much dragged into this whole ordeal. All that because I wanted a sandwich. I don't know what to make of this, aside from the fact that I now have a night job with a bunch of complete hotties and my best friend, who is also a complete hottie. Not as if he stopped being mad at me. And he's the one who stood me up and forced me to go out at night. I would have made a pouty face, but I was too busy wincing from the sting of disinfecting my scraped hands and knees. Once I was done tending to myself, I crashed back into my bed, exhausted. My cell phone vibrated at the nearby nightstand. I nonchalantly picked up to see who was messaging me when I noticed the time. What? It's already noon? What have I done sleeping in so late? I took a deep breath, trying to keep myself from getting into this wave of stress washing over me. Relax, relax, it's Saturday. Ah! Intruder! Oh, it's you? Do you? Sorry, wait, how did you get in here? Keep it down, will you? I have sensitive ears. Your bed looked more comfortable than Ryuji's, so I snuck in last night. Jiu was curled up in a ball, sleeping beside me. Well, he was sleeping before I made all that noise. I'm just not used to having a talking cat in my apartment. I'm not a cat. Well, you look like a one. Besides, won't be your worry if you're not at his place. I live wherever I feel like living. That's work. Well, make yourself at home, I guess. Don't need to ask me. Now, look at who messaged you. What an annoying old fart. Nonetheless, I listened to his request and paid attention to my messages. Good morning, Miss Ryuzumi. It's me, Ryuji Miura. Took the liberty to add you to our group, too. Hope you don't mind. Good morning. That's fine. Oh, you up? I'm close by. Pick you up so we can go to HQ together. Yeah. Without a moment's thought, I quickly hit the share my location button. Wait, why'd I type this? I'm not even close to being ready. Hoping it'll take him a little while to get to my place, I shot out of bed, which nearly knocked Jiu over. Damn woman! Be more careful. Cat having 9 lives is just a myth. I'm sorry, but you're not a cat. Never get used to a fucking cat actually talking to me. I quickly lifted the rather heavy Jiu off my bed to be able to make it, and placed him on the table. I'm fierce, woman! I'm a fearsome beast! How dare you manhandle me? As soon as I was done, I rushed to the bathroom to get myself ready. Ringing the doorbell made me jump. I don't remember what got into me, but I rushed to the front door and it opened a crack. Oh dear. As soon as I saw Myota's dark brown eyes, which were wide open and not looking at my face, but further down, I knew what had happened. His mouth was slightly open, as if he wanted to say something. The lit cigarette between his lips, holding on for dear life. We don't mind what I'm looking at, miss, but shouldn't you take me out to dinner first? That's not... Ah! My cheeks visibly turned red, and I could feel my ears burning up. Unpleasant sweat formed in my palms. I knew exactly what his eyes were glued to. In my haste, I had forgotten that I was still in my white, almost transparent nightgown. Oh dear, I'm sorry, please give me a moment. What a start to the day. She's having a day. With a pounding heart, I closed the door behind me and felt the judgmental gaze of Jiu on me. What? Nothing. Shouldn't you get yourself ready? Right. Oh boy, this is going to be fun. Alright, by the time I slipped out of my nightgown and changed into my outdoor clothes, several minutes had passed. In real life and in game, too. I'm sorry for the wait. Once I locked the front door behind me, and Jiu had followed me outside, I saw Miyota still smoking a cigarette and leaning against an old red, lacquered four-seater. Giving me a nonchalant hand gesture, he motioned for me to join him. I'm gonna drive. You can sit down in the passenger seat. Oh, and don't mind all the bags in the back. Those are the errands I had to run. I'll join you after I finish smoking. Nasty habit. I spent the car ride in idle chatter, with most of the conversation coming from me as I try to burn the embarrassment out of my head from my, earlier encounter. Okay, red story come. The days off on the road, running errands for the store. And his mother. In the backseat of his car, you'll find bags full of flowers, seeds, and everything needed to cultivate plants. Oh. Sweet. Researcher. They're all connected of sorts. Thankfully, it wasn't long until we arrived, and I watched as Miura rummaged through his pocket before pulling his keys out and opening the door with a click. Jiu had brushed past our legs and made his way inside. Mano was in the kitchen, fiddling with an appliance, but turned to greet us. I gave him a quick smile, but it quickly became more genuine as I inhaled a rich, divine scent. Coffee. Hey man, brought the newbies, promised. You making coffee? I felt him put his hand on my shoulder before moving past me to join Amano. He took my shoes off and set them aside before rushing to join them, excited at the prospect of good coffee in the morning. I noticed Jiu had made his way onto the couch at some point and waved at him as I made my way into the kitchen, but he seemed to snub me with his usual smug expression. I hate his smug expression, it taunts me. Yes, help yourself, guys. I was making enough for everyone. Thank you. Miura began making himself a cup, and Amano stood nearby, holding his own already made cup, sipping on it. Reached up into the same cabinet I'd seen Miura reach in to grab a cup for myself, but it was tucked further back into the shelf, and I had trouble reaching it. Even on my tiptoes. Short queen, short queen. Here, let me grab that for you. Mano was suddenly behind me, reaching above me to grab the cup, as if it were the most natural thing to do. Miura had seemed to reach up instinctively too, but Amano was slightly quicker, as Miura had to stop pouring his own cup first. Surrounded on both sides by two tall kings. Miura had moved his hand away. and accidentally touched Amano's, and he shifted his focus back to his own coffee. Amano then handed the cup to me with a soft smile. Gave him a grateful smile before shifting on my feet awkwardly, noticing I had been sandwiched between these two men in the kitchen. Did the room suddenly get smaller? Moved on way casually, and Amano, noticing my silence, spoke up to fill the void. If you want some sugar or cream, they're around here somewhere. Cream should be in the fridge, but I hid the sugar from Emmy and Hiro. I heard Mira snicker at the comment, and felt a smile break across my face, too. You guys all seem close. Kinda nice. Yeah, you can say that twice. Being stuck in the same weird situation with people tends to bring you closer. I'll bet. Well, speaking of which, sorry that introductions were so hectic last night. As I'm sure you can tell, we didn't expect anyone else to join us. It's no trouble, really. Maybe been a bit crazy at first, but we all have those days. Everyone seems nice enough so far, too. Even if some of them seem a bit, quirky. Mono stopped mid-sip of his coffee and set his coffee down on the counter, eyes wide, as if he suddenly remembered something. By the way, I almost forgot, but I have some things for you to look over, Izumi. Watched as he scurried into his office, and with the sound of paper shifting as he seemingly dug through quite a few folders, then returned soon after, holding 3 sheets of paper. He approached me directly, handing them to me. Spirit paper sheets. Oh? I had to look through the papers, careful not to spill coffee on them, so I made sure to hold the sheets far from it whenever I took a sip. Oh. What's this? Spirit information? Precisely. A few of us have been working on gathering information about them to try to help them. Since you're new to our little group, I thought it would be better to get you acquainted quickly and have you join in our efforts. Don't worry too much about who is working on what, just try and think about which case speaks to you. It's easier to help the spirits when you can relate to them. So that's gonna be our, route split of sorts then. Because the data we have in these cases, clearly one of our love interests is championing a particular case, so that makes sense. That's neat. If that's the case, that's really neat. I like that. I nodded along as he spoke, absorbing the information as I read through the sheets. Looks like each individual paper sheet was information on a different spirit. 15-year-old boy with quite the temper, an old man who has been trapped here for quite some time, and a young child. They're all so different. Or perhaps initial projects. Maybe I'm misreading it because I just see on the top sheet it says Fukumoto has more information. Oh, here we go. Fukumoto has more information. There we go. Now I can read them. Okay, let's read here. Hamazaki Yamato. Age 9. Cause of death. Trafficking? Question mark? Temperament semi-hostile. General notes, victim of child trafficking ring. Caution when approaching. Traumatic death. PTSD. Oh god. Oh dear. It's gonna be a big one for us personally. Very big one for us personally. Masaru Goto. 15. Cause of death unknown. Temperament hostile. Often seen at the city park. Discovered a week ago. Easily provoked with those things. Looks rough, dirty, ruffled hair. Fukumoto has more information, since it's clearly due to... So, okay, so that note is clearly a one-off then, because this is a case that a police officer would likely know more about directly. Fujimoto Genji. Cause of death unknown, age 75, temperament non-hostile. Often seen in abandoned housing complex, but in the YNK the longest? Barely speaks, wants us to leave. Huh. So what if I take some time to think about it? Oh, yes, of course. Just try to have your answer by tonight. I'll make sure to follow up. Gave her a nod before sipping my coffee again, and the two of us moved to join Miura and Jiu, who were already relaxing on the couch. I sat on the couch, quietly thinking about my assignment. Jiu's soft purr brought calm over me. Miura and Amino were busy with their own conversation, which I had a hard time following. Meanwhile, I just pondered over which spirit I wanted to try and save first. I gave a read over the information sheets for the upteenth time, front door open, and gave the two women I remembered meeting yesterday. Inoue and Fukumoto. And so Mr. Yamaguchi went around gifting sweets to all the caretakers. I love them all so much, despite the poop explosions and the cognitive decline. Oh, I see. Oh, hi everyone. We're back from work. That was a loaded sentence, Inoue. Hello. Took a look at Miura, who greeted them with a nonchalant wave. Mono, on the other hand, gave them a polite greeting and a smile. Well, that's one way of greeting your... Oh, shut it, me! I didn't even know for sure what type of relationship Miura has with these women. In any case, it did seem quite intimate at the flower shop yesterday. Izumi, get your mind out of the gutter. The shorter of the two women beamed upon seeing me. She walked up to me in a confident step, dragging along the tall woman by the hand as she did. Hi there, Kaede. It's really nice to see you again. Do you remember us from yesterday? It's true we didn't really have a chance to properly introduce ourselves. Her eyes sparkled, that's so cute. And remember you two. But it's true, I'm not sure I actually caught your names accurately. I'm sorry. I'm Inoue. I'm a caretaker of senior citizens, and here's my bestest of friends, Mayumi Fukumoto. I call her Mimi, though. Come on, Mimi, introduce yourself to Kaede. Fukumoto didn't answer, just flashed a police badge to me. Is she mute or something, or does she just not like my face? She's just socially... awkward. Mimi, be a good sport and answer poor Kaede will end up traumatizing her. Mayumi Fukumoto. Division 3 Police Investigator. Pleasure. She's probably perfectly cordial and verbose in a professional sense, but in a social environment outside of work, she just completely clams up like this. Division 3 Investigator who looks in local police station and cracks cases. Yay! She works as a caretaker of senior citizens. Hence the sentence we got earlier from her as she arrived. That's no fun. Tell her about your hobbies or some of the cool cases you've been on. Exercise is a hobby, and I can't tell you more about my job because it's confidential information. I'm okay, moving on. I like knitting and crochet, and I have a huge collection of crocs in all the colors. Crocs. Do you wear them with socks? I've seen it. It's definitely a collection, that and all the grok charms. Grok charms? But they're all so cute. I just couldn't stop myself from buying them all. Oh, that's fun. What's your favorite shoe store? Wouldn't have asked that question. Uh-oh. Sheesh. Emmy has been activated. OMG! She likes shopping. I was wanted a shopping party, but all the others get bored so quickly at the mall. Even Mimi, being in my favorite store. That's quite alright, Emmy, but I think he'll just annoy Izumi if you continue rambling on about shopping. I wanted to know your answer, though. We can... Inoue cleared her throat, toning down her energy by quite a bit. Oh, right. Sorry, we just met. I'm just really happy there's a new woman in the crew. I hope we can get along. Her earnest smile encouraged me to smile as well. It's infectious. I love that energy. One of my absolute friend-shaped people of all time. People who bring that energy that just fills you with an infectious sort of joy. Best character type of all time. Love them. Fukumoto and Inoue seemed to have quite opposite personalities, yet they seemed close as they spoke to me. I couldn't help but ask. So did you two know each other before ending up in the Yominokuni? Oh, yeah. Mimi and I go way back. Right, Mimi? Right. We're childhood friends, actually. Fukumoto nodded at her words, stiffly agreeing with her bubbly friend. They're just like her and I. Except that for last night's events, I'm not sure where we stand anymore. Cogs in my mind turned. I don't really seem to acknowledge each other as more than just friends for that interaction. are they not intimate together with Miura? Oh no. Well, it's nice to meet you, and I hope we get along as well. We get along well. Oh, I'm sure we will. You know, I put a firm hand on my shoulder as an amicable gesture. I suppose the plus side of setting this in a college environment is that we have more liberties for adult conversations without things getting odd. But Izumi, please, get your head out of the gutter. As soon as she did that, I could feel Fukumoto glaring daggers at me. Precisely, she was looking at Inoe's hand on me. I gulped, not really knowing what to make of this. Did I do something wrong? Fukumoto was staring me down like she's ready to pounce at a moment's notice. As soon as Inoue removed her hand from my shoulder, everything went back to normal. It was brief, but that moment in time definitely felt tense. Is Inoue truly sure if they're just friends? Fukumoto's definitely protective of her, unless she's just really suspicious of me. Wanna go get some drinks in the kitchen, Mimi? I need a refresher. Both Fukumoto and Inoue made their way to the kitchen area, leaving me with no one to talk to once again. Hi, Jiu. Oh, getting dark. The idyll was interrupted by the sound of the apartment door opening. Haru? And Sasaki. Then came a yawning Sasaki, followed by Haru. Sasaki is clearly a night owl by default. The latter closed the door behind him and gave us only a brief nod, while Sasaki made himself comfortable at the dining table. One after the other, in addition to his laptop and documents, he grabbed several snacks from his bag, ranging from cookies and chocolates to chips and nuts. I'm glad you guys made it. After all here, I think we should get down to business. My attention was still on my childhood friend, who only briefly made eye contact with me. However, when his gaze wandered down to Jiu, who had made himself comfortable on my lap, his expression darkened and he turned himself away from me. Is he going to end up being the homeowner of this game? It was tried to stop us from becoming spirit detective, but the quirky, sassy mascot character roped us into it. What's gotten into him? Our argument from last night was still floating in my head. Why aren't you with Mom like I asked you to? Why? Sorry, I'd rather be at home right now, too. What is the meaning of all this? Never answered. Just wish you wouldn't have been dragged into this. Yominokuni is not just a scary place full of spirits. Might not have your best intentions. You're dying here, Kaede. Is me? Go inside. You must be tired. Tomorrow we'll have enough time to talk about everything. You're such a fucking liar, I can see it in your face. Izumi. Ah! Mi's gentle tug on my arm had snapped me back to reality. Huh? Yeah? Sorry? Are you alright? Did you get enough sleep last night? The whole earth situation must have really tired you out. No, I'm fine. I turned my focus away from Haru, who had sat down slightly apart from the group and faced Amano. Since you're still new to the Yominokuni and have to get used to the environment, we should start easy. Earlier, I showed you some information on the souls we are currently dealing with. So if you have any more specific questions, please feel free to ask Hiro later. Sasuke shrugged and nodded, then continued to shovel his snacks into his mouth. Crunch, crunch, crunch. So, Izumi, what kind of questions are buzzing in your head? Alright. Lots of them. What is Yominokuni? Jiu, didn't you give her some kind of introduction? Told her everything I can say, but it seems to me that this woman is rather slow on the uptake. Hey, shut it. Rude very much? Great. Oh, fuck off. That's not what I meant. Yes, Jiu, give me a rough outline of what the Yominokuni is, but I would like to hear it from all of you what the Yominokuni is and how you experienced it. It took a while before one of the group decided to talk. They ought to think carefully in order to voice their thoughts. How we experienced it, huh? Yominokuni is a very sad and very dangerous place. What do you mean by very sad and very dangerous? Her gaze shifted on to the hands resting on her lap, and something unfathomable shivered in her eyes. Every step you take in here must be well thought out. Yominokuni is good at showing you your biggest fears and your worst nightmares. Oh, that's concerning, considering we start out this game by having a very awful nightmare about our awful fears. Encountering a hostile spirit, even the smallest sound can provoke it, and you may lose your life due to your negligence. Her words, so serious and direct, made my blood run cold. She was right. We found ourselves in such a strange situation. To outsiders would have sounded like a bad horror movie. Before I knew it, my fingers started to tremble. This is all so weird. I'm scared. The awkward touch of Ryuji's big hand on my back helped my pounding heart regain a steady pace. Miss, you're not alone. Ryuji's right. Yes, it's all very frightening, but we'll manage somehow as long as we have each other. You can depend on us. With a loud clearing of his throat, he tried to lighten the tense atmosphere and hunched forward. Over time, you'll get used to this little nighttime adventure. Do you have any other burning questions? How long have you been here? Haruka and I were the first to report into the Yominokuni. That was nearly a year ago, right? Confirmation, Amano turned to Haru, who only gave an absent-minded nod, his gaze directed out the window. Haru has been in the Yominokuni for this long? Why did he tell me anything? In retrospect, the answer to that question was quite clear, and yet it hurt that he had left me in the dark. You've been in and out of the Yominokuni since February this year, right, Mimi? Yeah. I think Sasuke arrived here just before us, and Miura's first night in the Yominokuni was a good 2 months after our arrival. Guess you could say I was the newbie before you came. I've only been around since April. Though this short time feels like an eternity already. Melancholic smiles formed on the faces of some as a warm tranquility swept across the room. The silence, which seemed to last for a long time, was mentioned broken by Amano clearing his throat. Oh, Rei and Ryuji have got to be, I await the shipping art and fanfics of Rei and Ryuji. Do you have some more questions? More questions? What exactly is Jiu? Everyone quiet and the others exchanged puzzled looks. I don't know exactly either. You could have asked me that. You could have asked me that the whole time, you know. Jiu's ears straightened. He sat up on my lap to make eye contact with me. In the process, his paws dug into my thighs. Do I dare attempt the Morgan Freeman impression, since you've described him as a bargain-bred Morgan Freeman? You can think of me as some kind of overseer. I make sure that everything proceeds as it should. So, you're part of the Yominokuni? Woman, have you ever seen a talking cat? No? His audible sigh echoed throughout the apartment. That was a rhetorical question. And I'd played Heart of the Woods. I've seen a talking cat. Who was also not a cat. Yes, I am part of the Yominokuni. I have taken the form of a cat so that I can blend in more easily amongst your kind. Fortunately, I am not qualified to give you information about this world you find yourselves in. You could have asked me my ass. An overseer is a passive participant, someone who is not empowered to act. And who gave you this qualification? On the sound of it, there must be someone who is superior to you. As I said, I'm not qualified to answer those kinds of questions. You'd be better off getting the information you desire by helping the spirits. It's no use, Izumi. We already accepted that he's nothing more than a cute-looking mascot. Who are you calling a mascot, human? You... in any case, do you have any more questions? What's next? How many spirits? Before anyone was able to answer my question, I heard a mocking laugh and rubbed for the dinner table. Your question should be, how many have we not saved? Hero. Man, that's uncalled for. Everyone's trying their best. everyone did their best, we wouldn't be stuck with the same information from day one. Guys, please. No, he could have worded it better. Hero was right. To answer your question, Izumi, Haruka and I were able to save 2 spirits, and that's pretty much it. Oh, so 2-1. 2-1, nil, 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 nil. Nil. Expression of defeat marked his face, and I saw him looking at Haru, who, pointedly looking away, crossed his arms in defiance. That's about it. If you have any more questions, don't hesitate to ask me or one of the others. Mono rose with a sigh from his seat and turned to the window where Haru was standing. Haruka. He didn't react as he was called out to several times. Only when Amano had taken a step towards him did he seem to wake up from his daze. What's wrong, Amano? I wouldn't give to know what's going on inside his mind. I would like to talk to you for a moment, in my office, in private. With a gentle smile, Amano placed a hand on his shoulder and nodded in the direction of the hallway. Okay. There. The two gone, and uncomfortable silence spread throughout the room, interrupted only sporadically by the rustling of a chip bag on Sasaki's part. Maybe he can let off some steam talking with Ray. Haruka tends to be quieter, but something seems to be really bothering him today. Haruka tends to be quiet? Anyhow, we can't change it right now. The last thing happening is Sano sharing how he feels. It's a closed off one? Emmy, I'm gonna make you some hot cocoa. Your specialty? With the marshmallows? Her face lit up as her friend threw her an affirmative nod. With this newfound energy, Inoue leapt into the air and skipped out of the living area to the open kitchen, Fukumoto right behind her, less skippy. Well, now Ryuji, the only one who is still sitting with me on the couch, slowly stood up as well. No, please don't leave, please don't leave. Just a little bit until the Yominokuni starts and I have to stop by the flower shop to check on my mother. I seriously need a cigarette right now. Even though my Sprite is a permanent one, but understandable. Still a nasty habit, though. A firm pat on my shoulder, he marched past me and towards the apartment door. Now I'm pretty much alone. Although I could hear Fukumoto and Emmy working around in the kitchen, behind me I didn't feel like bothering them. Hot cocoa, hot cocoa. Ahem, aren't you forgetting someone? Sorry, I didn't mean to. Wait, can this damn cat, or whatever Geo is, read my mind? And what am I supposed to do now? Take a deep breath before deciding to approach Sasaki, hoping he's in a decent mood today. Maybe he was just stressed out last night. Hey, Sasaki? What's up? I had mixed feelings about the situation. On one hand, his response didn't seem hostile. The other, he didn't bother looking at me as he kept his nose buried deep in the papers he was perusing. I was hoping I could ask you a few questions about the spirits. I was told you were the most in the know with the info. He patted the seat next to him, still not looking up, but I could see him trying to hide a smile as it tugged on the corner of his mouth. Guess he likes recognition. I wanted to waste my chance while he was in his good graces. I sat next to him, scooting a bit closer to more easily see what he was looking at. I noticed the tips of his ears go a bit red as our arms slightly touched, and he looked at me with his eyes slightly wide. You okay? Never. Awkward boy. Just quickly he looked away, refocusing on the papers in front of him, yet he made no effort to move away. Yeah. Anyways, what did you want to know? Alright. Why do you have to save them? Well, it's the only way we really find out more about the Yominokuni and why we're here. You saw that asshole cat always speaks in riddles. Half the time I think he's bluffing for the free food. I see him look to Jiu, giving an indignant sigh, while Jiu only returns his gaze with a smug expression as if he was refusing to deign to comment. So there's no point? I never said that. It's a strange thing to experience for the first time. But it's like... Watched as he took the back of his pen into his mouth, absent-mindedly nibbling on it. While he tried to find the best way to explain. almost like a scene from a movie, where we find certain evidence, we get access to a portion of their memories surrounding it. In turn, we then learn more about why they are here and how we can help them. Our hope is to find a connection between the trapped spirits and see if there's a reason why we're here too. So now it's just a theory. We'd have way more information if people would get off their asses and actually try. Do they really not make an effort? Or is he just really grumpy? But I digress. It's our only hope as of now to put things back to normal. I see. Anything else? I was admittedly expecting more of a trapped in the Yominokuni adventure, but this is also a really interesting premise. Comes across as a more dark hour sort of mystery. And I like that. 15-year-old boy? Oh, that one. He's very juvenile, as you might expect. It's hard to get a direct answer out of him at times, since he just gets emotional and defensive. Sasuke rolled his eyes and sighed heavily as he spoke about that boy's spirit. If you choose him, be careful. He likes to throw shit and call people names like a toddler. Noticed the corner of his mouth tugged down slightly, as if he had a bitter taste in his mouth. His brash and impulsive behavior reminds me of a certain someone. Fitting that he's working the case. Oh? Sasuke sucked his teeth, making a ch noise before shuffling through his papers some more. Anything else? Maybe I am right, and there is different people working each case. Old man. Is that Emmy's case? Sasuke smirked, and I could swear I saw his eyes shiver with interest. Oh, your case. He's who I'm currently working on myself. He's an old man whose spirit has been trapped here for quite some time, way before any of us were here. It's been a tough nut to crack, but I love a challenge. Unzips. He pulled out his notebook, which seems to be filled to the brim with his personal notes. He even had sticky notes littering the pages to store more information. He flipped to his notes of the spirit and pointed them out to me. Here, Genji Fujimoto. Age 75. He's basically tried to avoid us for the most part, unlike most spirits here who are either extremely defensive or manipulative or whatever else. He specifically seems to want nothing to do with us. He tends to stick around in an abandoned old house and only really speaks to us to tell us to leave. Don't understand him, though. His actions make no sense. But for a moment as my heart filled with sympathy for the old man. Maybe he's just lonely. Beats me. Anything else? I do wish we could... I guess for these question segments that we've had so far, gives you a chance to repeat it, but I wish there was some indicator that we've asked the question already. Small nitpick. Young child? Oh, right, let me see. Shall through his papers for a moment? As if he were buried in a sea of notes. I wonder how he manages to keep that info so organized when he has so many notes. Here we go. Yamato Hamazaki, 9 years old. This is Fukumoto's case, actually. He has her day job, so we have a bit more information than usual. Boy was part of a child trafficking situation, and he's a bit shaky to approach sometimes. Makes sense, though. The kid seems like he has a lot of trauma surrounding his death. So we suspect, at a minimum, he has an acute case of PTSD or worse. Not sure what else I can tell you about him, though. This is all the info Fukumoto has given me so far. Perhaps she could tell you more if you decide you want to help this spirit. I see. Poor kid. I watched as he took a sip of his drink, once again absorbing his notes. Anything else? I think that's it. Alright. Seemed to think for a moment before turning to face me, confidently looking me in the eyes for the first time. You know, it might not be so bad having you here. You already show more effort than half these guys do. Like who? Sasuke's eyes were cold and judgmental as he had a faraway look playing on his features for a long moment in silence. Nothing. Never mind. Did you need anything else? Actually, yes. Actually, I was wondering, do you have any advice on which spirit to choose? Thought for a moment, biting his lip as he racked his brain. Me and I just choose whichever is most interesting to me. The more information I get out of them, the better. Last thing I want is to keep being dragged along dragged around this godforsaken place forever, after all. I don't think it matters what you choose, really. As long as you actually get shit done, you are more helpful than most of them. I see. Thanks for your help, Sasuke. Raised a hand to wave in acknowledgement at me, while still keeping his eyes on the docks. I feel like this decision is going to be a bit harder than I expected. I guess we'll see if we even get to the decision, or how far we get through a decision path, but as soon as I left the bathroom and stepped into the hallway, the door of the room across from me swung open. I was dormed Haru, who momentarily looked at me as though I were a ghost, but then turned away from me and hurried out of the apartment. Turned to Amano, who had stepped out behind him. What happened? Have I done something wrong? A gentle smile formed on his lips. No, it's just... unmistakable laughter echoed down the hall to us. Oh, Mimi! You know exactly that's not what I meant. Stop teasing me! That's great timing. Izumi, are you on your way back to the living room, right? Yeah. Would you ask Inoue to come to my office? I have something to discuss with her. Sure, I'll let her know. I wonder what he wants from her. Could it by chance be related to Haru's behavior? Small thank you, he disappeared into the office again, closing the door behind him. Oh boy. Stepped into the kitchen area of the living room, where I saw them leaning against the counter, each with a cup in their hands. Hi, sorry to bother you, but I'm just getting a drink. Anyway, when you're free, Amano would like to see you in his office. But we just finished making the drinks. Don't worry, Mimi. Thanks for letting me know about Rei Kaede. I'll go see him now. Wait, Emmy, at least take your cup with you, or the hot chocolate will be cold when you come back. All right, what would I do without you? My eyes followed Inoue as she exited for the hallway before turning back to Fukumoto. Took a sip from her cup. There was a few moments of silence before she said something. Well, for how long are you going to stand there like a lost sheep? Oh, right. Sorry. Came a bit close to the kitchen counter while she grabbed another cup from the shelf and filled it with tea. I'm not sure what type of drink you wanted, but I hope this will do. Prepared this kettle earlier while making Emmy's hot chocolate. Careful. Passed me the cup, which my hands carefully embraced, taking in the welcoming warmth. Oh, this is fine. A few more minutes passed as we exchanged sips of our beverages. The floral fragrance of the tea filled my nostrils. Is that a hint of rose? So do you prefer tea over coffee? We're drinking tea right now, aren't we? Does that answer your question? Yeah. I wonder what's wrong. She seems annoyed. Sorry, I don't usually talk to people other than my seniors in Emmy. I have a hard time being sociable. Did she notice my reaction? It's okay. You mentioned before that you're a police investigator. Can you tell me a bit more about it? I'm curious. Fukumoto stared at me. She sighed and set her cup down. Are you really that curious? It's nothing interesting. Just want to know a little more about you, that's all. Silence again. Never get an answer out of her. I'm the youngest in my squad. Did Fukumoto actually share something new about herself with me? What's that like, being the youngest? I think I can't handle it. I can be the youngest, but I can't keep up with the men. Ah. In 1 second, the next Fukumoto's tone changed drastically. There's just something wrong again. No, you just hit on a pressure point, perhaps. These things happen. Just roll with it and learn from it. And roll from it, learn from it, and try and... I don't know, it's hard to handle that sort of thing. Is something wrong again? I worked hard to get where I am. That's all there is to it. Sorry if I made you upset. Fukumoto's stare pierced straight through me. Learning more about her has become increasingly difficult. Investigate crimes. My knowledge will help us here in the Yominokuni. I know it will. Now, if you'll excuse me. He turned her back to me. After cleaning her empty cup at the sink, Fukumoto gave a curt nod and left the room, leaving me with my now cold beverage and little thoughts. Sorry we're coming back? Worried about him. A few moments later, Emmy came back to the living room, humming. Alone? Where did Mimi go? I don't know. Oh, Mimi, what will I do with you? Probably just felt awkward and left. Noah sat down next to me. The look on her face told me she had taken an interest in me and was about to ask questions. So, liking a little ragtag group so far? I'm not sure I'm off to a great start with everyone, to be honest. Oh, don't worry about that. They'll come around. I think they have a good heart. Please don't take it personally if they take some time to warm up to you. I think a lot of them are just worried to let anyone into their lives easily. That sure included me as well. Talking to a no, I felt like talking to a well-meaning, albeit nosy, high school friend. It comforted me in a way. She definitely knows how to make people feel at ease. I'm sure she's great at her job. A simple presence by my side with her upbeat personality and joyful smile was enough to ease the tensions. After a moment of quaint silence, she turned to me with a mischievous grin. Say, anyone in our gang caught your eye? I nearly spat out my tea when she asked that question. Sorry, did I startle you? No, you're okay. I'm just taken aback by your question. Oh, it's okay. I'm just really curious to know if anyone just has special attention from you. Can I really be open up to her about that? I'm not trying to back you into a corner or anything. I just want to root for you and make sure you can at least find some belonging with us. Did she read my mind or something? Oh God. Listening, I'd just been staring at her like a deer in the headlights for several seconds. I finally blurted out, Oh no, torn between Ryuji, Haruka, and Hiro. I'm gonna go off of the train of thought that in this situation, the thing that's still lingering in our mind is what the heck is up with Haruka. Ooh, best friends to lovers, we love that for you. What? I'm not saying... Just teasing, don't worry. Haruka's such a good guy. No wonder you think highly of him. Seems to be quite protective towards you, too. He's obviously pretty attached. At least that's how I see it, as someone who's looking from the outside. I felt myself blush as she gave her honest analysis of our relationship. Does that mean you think he has a thing for me? I can't read minds, but he's given all the signals, the caring, the protectiveness, the jealousy. Some things just don't lie, you know. Huh? I don't know what to make of this, but I'll keep her insight in mind for the future. And if I don't want to make you uncomfortable with all this, just know that I'm rooting for you. Sorry if I was too forward. Forward, yes, but I just can't be mad when she's so candid. Gosh, she's cute! Oh, no, you're okay. I felt like we were two teenagers gossiping together. I know his warmth gave me at least a little reassurance that I was appreciated in this group. Oh, that's sweet. And I have to try. Who, me? Oh dear, you're gonna make me blush. And looks on her face, it looks like I flustered her quite a bit. Aha! Recovery was pretty fast, though. I'm so honored you think so highly of me, Kaede. I'll make sure I don't break your heart. I didn't mean it like... I just said it too quietly for her to notice since she was on a roll. I mean, she really is nice, but I wouldn't say it's a crush just yet. She's just a really nice person. Now that makes me want to get to know you better. You know, get really emotionally intimate and cozy. We'd have a sleepover or something. Promise I'm not the naughty kind. Her slight smile and playful tone indicated to me that she took it in stride. While it was nerve-wracking to be so honest with her, I had a feeling she really appreciated it. Anyway, I don't really... Returned her smile in kind, and we continued talking about our different interests. She showed me pictures of her designated grok shoe racks. She had to have at least 50 pairs of these shoes. And she wears them all. I can't believe it. I barely wear anything other than my one pair of sandals. Talking to Inoue, even if it was an unrelated conversation, it somehow felt like the weight on my shoulders was a lot lighter. There's no right or wrong decision at the moment. I can just go with my gut feeling. I can somehow settle on what that is. As we were reaching a moment of quiet in our conversation once again, we heard someone walk up to us. Who's this? Getting dark. Hey, ladies, sorry to interrupt. Mind if I steal her from you, Emmy? Gave us both a gentle smile, looking between us for any objections. Emmy simply laughed for a bit and shook her head. Nope, no worries. I'll see you in a bit, Kaede. Nice talking to you. I stood and smoothed out my clothes before following Amano into the separate, adjacent office room. He opened the door for me, and then I followed in after me, gently shutting the door behind us. Office? Office? Office, oh wow. Sorry, I just wanted to give us some privacy. wanted to check in on you, see how you were holding up. Oh, what do you mean? Well, I mean, I know everyone is a bit shaken at first when they are put into such an outlandish situation like this. Don't be anything bad, I just want to make sure everything is all good. Yeah, I think I'm doing alright. He would look me over as if he was trying to find any sort of doubt or hesitation in my eyes, yet he found none. I gave him a reassuring smile, which he eventually returned, once he seemed satisfied with my answer. Good. What about the others? You've had some time to socialize. Is anyone giving you trouble? Does he expect them to? Some of them are a bit quirky, sure, but they don't seem mean. No. Should I be worried? No, not at all. I'm just relieved. That's a bit before ruffling my hair with his large hand, which I squirmed away from to smooth my hair out again with a small groan. He seemed to notice what he had done and quickly pulled his hand away with an apologetic smile. Force of habit? Dad energy? I'm sorry, force of habit. Siblings? Little brother. Took care of him growing up. It's a habit of mine I haven't really broken yet. Now I take care of our little ragtag team. I think you guys like family sometimes, so yeah, old habits die hard. I found myself smiling at him, enjoying the satisfied glint in his eyes as he speaks of his brother and friends. I'm sure they're grateful to have you, Amano. He gave me a sheepish grin and scratched the back of his neck before his gaze on me turned a bit more serious. You know, you have me too. I mean it, if you need anything at all, a case giving you issues, someone in the group giving you trouble, or even just someone to talk to, I'm here. What I'm saying is, don't be a stranger. Around here, most of, if not all of us, are willing to help. I know it's a bit hard to mesh with new people right off the bat, but I'm here extending my olive branch. My eyebrows knit together in confusion, and he chuckled at my expression as if he could read me like a book. Never heard that expression? Sorry. It's some old Roman and Greek mythology saying. Essentially, it means I'm giving you a peace offering. In terms of offering my friendship, it might feel uncomfortable to have navigated a new environment that's confusing and always trying to kill us. Important to know who you can trust. But my smile widened at his offer, feeling grateful to have another ally in this new, strange world as things seem to change day by day. Thank you so much, Amado. I'll keep that in mind. Thought he was just a rich kid, golden boy, but maybe he's not so bad after all. He turned my smile as he leaned back against the desk, crossing his arms over his chest. Now that the mush is out of the way, have you decided which spirit you want to help? Take a deep breath as I think over all my options as well as what I've learned today. Finally confident in my decision, I spoke up. I choose... I'm gonna choose little boy. Oh, that's so kind of you. Save your little kid. Is it natural to want to save a poor child? You can make any choice you want. It's just that children are hard to get answers out of. Kind of like that partner of yours. My partner? Just as Amano said the word partner, there was a knock at the door. We're discussing something here. Can you come back later? Apologies, but I'm looking for some of my investigation notes. Are they in there? Fukumoto, perfect timing. Oh, hey. Amano moved to open the door for the other woman. Guess what? Your case was just chosen. Izumi chose to save Yamato. Oh, really? That's good news. You couldn't say no to that. He's just a small child. Oh, you're here for your notes, right? Maybe they got mixed up in some of mine. Amano searched through some piles of paper for a few moments. Ah, here they are. Thank you, Amano. Your notes are actually regarding Yamato. I'll leave you two be. Come find me when you're done. I stared at Fukumoto, just looking at her notes. Walked over to her and peered over her shoulder. She stepped back, hiding her notes against her chest. My notes. Sorry, I was just curious. No, it should be me who apologizes. We'll be working together. We'll be working together on this case. Fukumoto came closer to me to show her notes. Briefly skimmed the first page before stopping on the words, Red toy car. Red toy car? Why is that so familiar? Did we seriously already save him? I furrowed my brows, trying to remember. Suddenly, I gasped as I realized why. Something wrong? I think Yamato was the spirit I found when I first entered the Yominokuni. He's looking for his red toy car. Oh, really? Then you've already acquainted with him. I guess so. I may have already saved him. I don't know. Is this how this... Is he actually free? Why wouldn't he tell you? What else is he hiding? What does he know? I guess so. Fukumoto made her way to the door and paused. She turned around and spoke to me. Well, let's tell Mano and the others. They want an update. I nodded in agreement and followed Fukumoto out of the office. There was a small smile painted on her lips. I mirrored the expression as I closed the office door behind me. Chapter 0 end. Oh. And there it is. That's a curious matter. Feels like there's going to be more to this when the time comes. But since we're here, go to the teenage boy. Oh, are you sure? Yeah, you sound hesitant. There's something I should know. Just a little concerned. Masaru is a very impetuous spirit. You should be especially on guard around him, and choose your words carefully. I see. Sasaki has already told me something similar. Nevertheless, I would like to know what led to him being like this, and I'd like to help him. If that's the case, then, you'd be partnered with him, so it should be. Before he could finish mumbling to himself, he was interrupted by a heavy knock coming for the door. Come. Again, without Mano being able to complete even one sentence, the door slammed open. In. Alright, it's almost 10 p.m. We should get a move on. Ah, yes. Ryuji. Oblivious to his impulsive demeanor, Miura leaned against the doorframe, his arms crossed in front of his wide chest. A heavy sigh slipped from Mano's lips as he pointed to Miura with a faint smile. Good that you're here. We were just talking about you. Izumi, Ryuji's in charge of this case, so moving forward, he'll be your partner. Oh, I am not going to complain. Love that. He averted his eyes from me and gave Miura a stern look. Ryuji, Izumi chose your case, so treat her with care. Hey, I'm a gentleman. You should know me this well by now, eh? Because I know you so well that I'm telling you this. All I'm asking you to do is behave. All I'm asking you is to behave. Yeah, I'll have the self-restraint of a monk, I promise. Taking a sharp exhale, Amano stood up and nodded in the direction of the hallway. Let's go, then. I slipped past Miura, and it was just the two of us left in the office now. What seemed like very long minutes, silence shrouded the room. I felt his appraising gaze lingering on my body, following by a wide grin forming on his face. Oh no, he is not going to let us live that morning incident down anytime soon. I wanted to say something to break off the silence, but he pushed himself away from the door frame. Approached me until he came to a stop only a few inches away from me. Oh, wow, that's a bit too close for comfort, man. Yoda was so close to me that my neck hurt just trying to look at his face. I could smell the strong stench of tobacco on him, but it doesn't smell bad. Wait, what am I thinking? Miura? Mm-hmm. Yes? Oh no. Didn't Amano just tell you to behave? Oh, miss, don't get me wrong. I am behaving myself right now. And why does he look like a beast observing its prey? Cautiously, my eyes meet his. I try not to succumb to his captivating stare, but the growing intimacy and change in atmosphere between us presented a huge obstacle. Anyways, as though his hunger had been satiated, he took a few steps back, allowing me to breathe, allowing my heartbeat to ease. Oh boy, this is going to be spending many nights together from now on. I mean, in the Yominokuni, of course. Oh no. Looking forward to working with you, miss. Yeah, likewise. I think we should meet up with the rest of the group in the living room. If we take any longer, Ray might think God knows what. Leaned forward, grabbed my arms, and pulled me to my feet with ease. First the scenario from earlier today, and now this. He's definitely a playboy and knows how to mess with the hearts of innocent women. And can my heart endure this? Oh boy. Tone of Ryuji's route achieved. With one last conscientious breath, I followed him to the rest in the living room. Aware that my decision would irrevocably change the course of my entire life. Oh! That's an ominous stinger. That's a very ominous stinger. Boy. And lastly, Mono smirked a bit. Like he was enjoying a joke only he was privy to. He crossed his arms over his chest, a mischievous twinkle in his eye. You sure? That's your final answer? Felt my stomach drop at his question, feeling like I might have made a mistake. Was this a trick question? No, not at all, just interesting. I watched as he bit his lip to stifle his laughter. Raised a hand to his mouth to try and cover his smile, and I felt my cheeks warm from his teasing. He was interrupted by Sasuke bursting into the room, clutching his notebook, which was still filled to bursting. It only seemed to amuse Amano more. Hey, got a lead, Speak of the devil. Sasuke paused and looked between us, one of his eyebrows cocking up curiously. Am I interrupting something? Not that I care, but, ahem. Amano cleared his throat to make Sasuke stop his ranting for a moment, before continuing with a smile. Anyway, Suzumi, meet your new partner. She's my what? I don't need it. Sasuke's words were cut short as Amano gave him a smile that didn't meet his eyes. Which pierced him sharply as if he dared him to continue speaking. Sasuke simply scoffed and grabbed my wrist, dragging me out of the room. Oh. Well, then I can't waste any more time. I don't need anyone else dragging me down. Goodness, Amano simply chuckled and waved goodbye at me as I looked back at him with wide eyes. He mouthed something to me I couldn't quite catch, but my best guess was he was trying to say, good luck. We have, 3 unique, outcomes here. It does make me wonder. So on the route chart, or the 3 cases we've gotten so far, clearly set up Hiro, Ryuji, and Mayumi. So I wonder how this will, how we'll even link up to the others. I'm very curious here. So we have a... I'm also very curious that, Emmy is on her own here. Ray is obviously the group leader who might not necessarily an active participant here. And Haruka is obviously our best friend who seems entirely distant from current proceedings, so... I'm really curious how these 3 will be integrated into the overall flow of things, but definitely... I'm also curious if this is going to be a full-on... Our choice of first case, if it's going to be a full-on route split or just an introductory mini-split of sorts as the plot develops, as we get our first proper investigation. It's curious here. This is prologue. Oop. Just jump us back in the prologue. Yep. So chapter 0. And is this... But yeah. I'm not gonna speculate too much farther. We'll just leave off here. And say... Cast of characters and premise? Really interesting. I'm really curious to see how this one comes along, because I'm excited. This is cool. This is really cool. It's... Obviously we didn't get too much into the mystery yet. This is clearly going to be one where, Like, I had to theorize based on what my visual novel experience might be. Our first 3 cases, if those are our route splits, those are routes that give us pieces of stories about the Yominokuni. And we only get deeper into the overall mysteries by going after these 3. Haruka definitely feels like he's meant to be the final part of this. Haruka and Rei, let's not discount the fact that Haruka and Rei were the first. We're the first, they've saved 2 spirits already. They know something. They know more than they're telling the rest of us. They know something they're not telling us, so, I'm intrigued to see how this develops. This is really smooth, really clean, really intriguing. This has been Yominokuni, the introduction. Prologue in Chapter 0, the demo. Get over 2 hours. This was a ride. I'm excited to see how this develops. Until then, thank you for watching.